Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Kendra Brown. I'm race director for the quad this year, and I'm with Danielle Gaines, who's assistant race director. We are here this evening to do the virtual pre-race meeting, and we know that a lot of you have questions. A lot of things are unknown about this year because we're changing the route a little bit, getting rid of the ski, changing to a run. So we'll get into plenty of those details and have time for question and answers later. But the plan for this meeting is to discuss all of the logistics, where you go to sign up, what time you need to be at all the different places, talk about safety and rules, and we have volunteers monitoring the chat on YouTube and Facebook. So if you have any questions, just drop those in and we'll address them at the end. We're excited to welcome you to Grants this weekend, and we know that a lot of folks have been unsure about the race this year, disappointed maybe that we don't have snow, but rest assured it's going to be a great race day. Maybe a little cold, but the course is looking good, and I think that everyone's in for a fun weekend. We'll start out by talking about the registration and check-in process. I'll have Danielle go over that, and we'll move forward from there.
The registration and check-in will start Friday the 14th. Are you going to be my Valentine?
I will be your Valentine. It's a great place to go on a date. Yeah.
So this starts at 3 till 9 p.m. and this will be at the Cibola County Complex at 515 West High Street. You can park anywhere in that area. There's a lot of parking. You'll pick up your race bib, timing chip, shirt, a spaghetti ticket, and then we'll send you across the way to the fire station for your equipment check-in if you're checking in any equipment. This will also run from 3 to 9. And like I said, it's at the fire department, which is 620 West High Street. So if you're soloing, make sure to bring your bag for the bike run. This will have your running shoes, cold weather gear, yak tracks if you're wanting to wear those. Ski transition, you'll definitely want your cold weather gear, snowshoe equipment, snowshoes with your shoes. All the gear will be organized and secured with a certain color of duct tape, and that will tell us which transition to take it to. We will have people there, I'll be there to help you with that if you're unsure of what to use.
We have the duct tape, sorry to interrupt you, we have the duct tape colors outlined on our website under the equipment section, but don't feel like you have to study all that or know it before you get there. Just show up with all your gear in two bags basically, bike run, and then the upper half of the mountain, the run ski and the ski snowshoe, and we'll help you get it all color coded and sent up the right way.
And then we'll have duct tape, so don't worry about bringing it. And then just as a reminder, there won't be any equipment check-in the day of the race. We have everything ready to go the night before. We do keep your equipment in a secure location so it is safe, and then we'll send it up early Saturday morning. And just as a reminder, Grants doesn't have any bike, ski, or athletic equipment shops, so make sure to bring that with you prior. And if you are questioning about any gear that you need, there is an Instagram on the quads page. It's called Gear Talk from January 2023 that has all of the information, but if you have any questions, just make sure to leave them in the comments and we will get to that at the end. And then for the final thing, it's optional. All contestants will get a ticket to the spaghetti dinner. This is a fundraiser hosted by our high school band. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year, I believe. And this will be held at Grants High School. It's 500 Mountain Road here in Grants. Like I said, it's free to those contestants, and it is all open to the public for $10. And you can find all of this on the schedule section of our website. So then we'll get to Saturday and our starting line process. So the start line will be at the same place that registration is, right outside of it. So at the Cibola County Complex. There is a mass start for bikes, so this will be teams and individuals at 8 a.m. So make sure you're there on time. Like I said, there's plenty of parking around. Please mind the barriers that we have up. They're up to help with the safety for everybody. Make sure that your biker has the timing chip. So don't send it up the mountain if you're on a team. Make sure that they have it. And now let's go to shuttles.
Cool, I can talk about shuttles. Briefly, I'll mention, I don't know if you said this, checking in gear for teams is a little bit confusing. You didn't talk about that, right? So
No.
the runner for a team, like if you're on a 4-person team, the runner does not need to check in their gear. They can just carry their backpack up on the shuttle. So there's not a bag for you to check if you're a 4-person team and you're the runner. Also, the skier and the the skier, we don't have a skier now, but we're going to call it segment 3 for today. So like the old ski, but now run. And the snowshoer, so segment 3 and segment 4, check in their gear together. And then that all goes to one station, and then you split it up from there, and the snowshoer will hike up. We'll get into those details, but just know that if you're a team, your gear check-in process looks a little bit different. Moving on to shuttles. So we try to really limit traffic on the mountain during the race. This year, I think it'll be a little bit more of a challenge for us because the conditions are dry. People are less intimidated about driving up into the snow. But please do not drive up on the mountain. If you're a part of a team, ride a shuttle. If you're a spectator, please also ride a shuttle. And if you're a volunteer, ride a shuttle. We have limited parking, and we want to respect our permitting through the process through the Forest Service and things like that. So we recommend and require that all team members and all volunteers and all spectators jump on an early morning shuttle. The shuttles start at 6 o'clock a.m. And I think that folks have a tendency to not want to get on the 6 a.m. shuttle because it's cold and they don't want to wait outside until 8 o'clock when the race starts. But you just need to get on the early shuttle, because if you wait too long, then everyone gets on the last shuttle or tries to get on the last shuttle. There's not enough space, and either you don't get a ride up or it delays the race. So the overall take here, if you need a ride up the mountain, show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get on a shuttle, and you'll get a ride to the end of the pavement up at the top of Lobo Canyon, which is the bike run transition. From there, if you need to move higher up the mountain, we transfer you up in pickup trucks, and so you'll wait for a ride and we'll take you higher. If you are a team member on a team and you are the snowshoer, we only transport you to the run ski transition. I'm still going to refer to the old names because I think that's what everybody thinks of them as, but basically the transition between segment 2 and segment 3. From there, if you're the snowshoer, you have to hike 2 miles to the start of your segment. The reason for that is because we don't have the means to transport all of the team members up the ski course on snow, typically, to the start of their segment. So be aware you need plenty of time to ride a shuttle up, then ride in a pickup, and then hike to get to the start of the snowshoe before your skier, now runner, makes it to you. And I hope this nomenclature isn't too confusing, referring to skiers that don't exist, but because most people think of the mountain as bike, run, ski, snowshoe, I think it's the best way to talk about the different areas. The shuttle will bring everyone down at the end of the day, but we don't allow folks off the mountain until downhill travel is safe. We don't want vehicle traffic on the road with the bikes when everyone's trying to come down. So expect to be on the mountain until probably 3 o'clock or so, but we leave that up to the transition leader at the bike run transition and also law enforcement to decide when everyone can come down. So let's get into the meat of this and talk about the course and how the course is going to change for this year. I know a lot of folks will have questions as we go along, so put them in the chat. I might not get to them right away, but we will answer every question. So the general take here is that the quad is typically a 4-sport event. For today, it's going to be a 3-sport event with 4 sections. And so the bike is 13 miles of paved cycling up Lobo Canyon on Mount Taylor. You gain 1,700 vertical feet. The run, which is just the traditional run, is 5 miles with 1,200 feet of vertical gain. Instead of having a ski, we are going to change that to a run. And the reason for that is because we don't have anywhere near the amount of snow that we would need to have, not even just a safe ski, but a ski at all. You'll see when you're on the mountain that in places we have a foot of powder, and in many places we're down to bare ground. So again, no ski this year. The ski up and the ski down will be run or hike portions. The snowshoe is still roughly 1 mile with 600 feet of vertical, but instead of going up the summit, the face of Mount Taylor, where you can see a few hundred miles, we're going to send you up the north side of Mount Taylor in the trees, which is usually where we descend. This year we'll have two-way traffic on the north side, which we've done before. It's safe and controlled, but that just seems to work better for us. So I'll briefly go through the map with you so that you understand what we're doing for race day. The start of the race is in, of course, downtown Grants, and we send you up High Street, and we'll have a police escort, so don't feel like you need to memorize this, but we'll send you up High Street and then down First Street. We lock down traffic, the road is yours. It's a beautiful day to cycle in Grants. From there, we head up Roosevelt and make a left onto Lobo Canyon. This is where our climb starts. So we turn left at the Smith's grocery store onto Lobo Canyon, and then really get into the bulk of the cycling race, which is up Lobo Canyon. We start to climb pretty seriously right around the prison, which is kind of like right here. Probably get a little hot. Some people will have to pull over and take off layers. I will recommend to you start cold. I think it's really difficult to start cold when it's like 20 degrees outside, but you will be roasting by the prison and you don't want to waste time taking off clothes. So anyway, we continue to cycle up this 13 miles to the end of the paved road, which is where you will hit friendly faces at the bike run transition. They'll take your bike from you, put it away, bring you your running equipment, and if you're on a team, of course, you'll tag off here, and you'll start running up the gravel road. So everything to this point has been paved. You'll start running up a pretty wide gravel, well-maintained forest road. It's down pretty much to dirt at this point. We think that we could get like an inch or maybe 2 inches of snow between now and race day, but I expect that for sure these lower portions will be dry gravel. Head up the gravel road to the La Mosca turnoff. We'll have a volunteer there, so don't worry, don't feel like you have to notice this turn, but you'll make a right-hand turn onto the La Mosca climb. Someone will direct you. It's a sharp 90-degree turn, and then you will really start climbing and hit intermittent snowpack and ice as you finish the last 2 miles of the running route. At that point, we are here at the traditional run ski transition. Here's where you're going to switch from the first half of your running to the second half of your running. So if you're a soloist, run on through, get some water, and head on up. If you are on a team, here's where you'll transition to your skier, now runner. That person will run segment 3, the old uphill ski. So you'll make a right out of the transition and climb 1,200 feet in 1.75 miles up Heartbreak Hill, which is here where my cursor is, to the ski snowshoe transition. The snow along this route is pretty variable right now. We'll have the snowcat up the next 2 days working on it, but we don't have a lot of snow to push around, and there's been a lot of like side-by-side off-road vehicle traffic on there, and it's a mix of dirt, really slick ice, and deep, soft, faceted snow. So be prepared for anything. We're highly recommending that everyone wears like Yaktrax or Microspike, some kind of traction device on their shoes. It's as strong of a recommendation as I can make without it being mandatory. I fell hard enough walking on the ski course last week that all I could do was complain for 2 days about how old I am, and I'm not even that old. So be aware, it's slick, and you could take a pretty bad fall. Even, just wear traction. We also recommend running poles, probably if you're comfortable with them, just to help you stay on your feet. All right, once your runner, segment 3 runner, the old skier, has made it to the ski snowshoe transition, you will transition to snowshoes. Even though the snow is thin this year, we are requiring snowshoes for the snowshoe course. So put your snowshoes on here at the traditional area, and then head out to Mount Taylor, to the edge. We call it the edge of the world, and then up the summit. So you all might remember that typically we go directly up the face of Mount Taylor, the right line here. We are not doing that this year because it is down to dirt. So instead, as soon as you hit the edge of the world bar, you all know that's the best place to enjoy your Valentine's weekend, you'll head back into the trees, volunteers will guide you, and you'll hike the 600 feet on the north side of the summit in good snow. We got a report tonight from the guys that have been running their snowmobiles up there, and they say there's plenty of snow. It's a little bit soft, but they're packing in a pretty good track with their sleds. So you'll have a good place to get your footing, but be aware it could kind of like be soft that really grainy, faceted snow in spots. So poles are a good idea here. So go up to the top, take a picture at the summit, enjoy yourself, come right back down the way you went up, enjoy yourself at the Edge of the World bar. I do recommend you don't skip that because it's a pretty special experience. And then snowshoe right back out to the ski snowshoe transition. From there, you will continue back onto the segment 3 run, which is the old downhill ski course. Again, extremely slick conditions. We've done what we can to pull snow off that road. We've been blading it. We're really trying to pay attention to the slick spots to see if we can improve safety. But be aware that you need to pay attention to what you're doing, wear your micro spikes, and like don't outrun your coverage here because it's pretty slick and we don't want anyone to get hurt. We'll have someone positioned at Checkpoint Charlie, which is the spot where we usually have the snowcat where everybody crashes on skis. We'll still put someone there in case there's an injury. They'll be like halfway down the course to help get you out. And then from there, continue down the traditional downhill ski, but of course you're running, to the run ski course. If you're a soloist, you must wear your snowshoes on the way up, starting at the run ski transition. So when you go from segment 2, your first leg running, to segment 3, your second leg running, pick up your backpack with your snowshoes on it. You're required to carry them up to the snowshoe transition. Likewise, you're required to carry them down when you run down. So it's just like the normal quad. You've got to carry your own snowshoes on the top half of the mountain. Moving back down the course, from the run ski transition down, back onto segment 2, the standard run. It'll be a little slick up top, snow-packed and icy for a while. As the day goes on, it should melt. And then back at the bottom of that route, you'll be on dry ground. Jump on your bicycle and get back on segment 1, the road bike, back into town. We know at this point that it is going to be extremely windy on Monday. And usually I haven't looked at the wind direction, but usually it's a headwind right up the canyon. So save a little bit of energy for those last 13 miles into town because it's not free. All right, I think that covers the course and course changes. Be aware of any vehicles you see on course. Everything's a little different this year because we're having to use a different approach for transportation. It's not just snowmobiles and snowcats. It's kind of a mix of it all, and it's been really challenging because it's muddy, it's dusty, and it's soft snow. And so we're doing the best we can. I will kick it back over to Danielle to talk about aid stations.
Perfect. Do you know what the costume is this year
Costume.
for the bar?
I don't. You got to make it to the Edge of the World bar to know what the party theme is.
So I've never made it.
Like, pro tip, because I've done this before. I partake at the Edge of the World bar on my way down.
Yes.
So that I've already got the endorphins from hitting the top and I don't suffer the last 600 feet up. But everybody's got their own style. All right, go for it.
All right, so we will have aid stations along the way. We have water, tailwind, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, honey stinger products. We have brownies, gummy bears. So that will be at the aid stations. Restrooms will be at bike run transition. There will be a cattle guard that is partway of the run. And then the run ski will also have bathrooms there. Volunteers will be there to help you with any aid that you may need, but we are asking that you are self-sufficient. So we'll help to a degree. And then if you have any questions about any of this, check out the race rules on the website. And then we'll get to the finish. So once we're finished, feel free to stay around, hang out. There will be a beer tent. We will have a pop-up
Burger
food
thing.
Station thing. So bring some money. And that is actually our emergency response team from a local mine here. They are doing it as a fundraiser. They have an event coming up this summer, so please come out and support them. But a big thing, make sure you turn in your timing chip back to the timers or to one of our volunteers. And again, once you finish, we will be there to help you with all of that. A big thing is don't forget to pick up your equipment when we bring it down.
And if you forgot your equipment last year or the year before, we might still have it. So
Yeah.
come check.
And so we're expecting the trucks anywhere around 5:30, could be a little bit earlier. So normally we park on that west side of the county
I think it's
building.
911 Avenue.
Okay.
Right on the west side of the county building.
So in
Yeah.
between the fire station and the county building, and we'll lay it all out there for you, so don't forget to come pick it up. And then we go to awards.
Yes. Touching on the ERT, the Mine Emergency Response Team, they volunteer to provide our medical support on the course. So we do really encourage you to visit their fundraiser, the food stand, pop-up burger thing, at the start-finish line. We really appreciate what they do for us, and it's critical for us to have good medical support on course.
And they'll be all along the mountain,
They'll be
too.
everywhere. Yeah, they'll be at every transition. So we appreciate them for doing that and wanted to give them a little shout out. There was one more note I wanted to share, but I suppose it will come back to me. Oh, the rules. You mentioned check out the rules on the race website. Because we're moving on the fly a little bit this year, changing the course, not having the ski portion, things like that. Do be aware that the race director maintains the right to solve disputes on course. So the rules are good guidance for understanding how the race works, but things are a little bit different this year. And what we're saying in this meeting and kind of what we will announce between now and race day supersedes the rules listed on the website. So just understand that. We're not trying to do anything like sketchy, but you can't have ski rules if there's no ski. All right, awards. Not a whole lot new here. The award ceremony will be at 5 o'clock. We hope it's not absolutely freezing and that we'll be able to have it outside, right outside the beer tent so folks can enjoy themselves. We will be giving a $1,000 prize to first place male and female solo finishers, $750 to second place male and female solo finishers, and $500 to third place male and female solo finishers. We will do age group awards for soloists, first, second, third. For teams and pairs, we will only be doing overall awards. We started that a few years ago. So we'll be awarding overall first and second place for teams, male, female, co-ed, and pairs, male, female, co-ed. So that's first and second place for those categories. And then one of my favorite awards, because we've always got fun people that win this, is the oldest average age team. They always bring some levity to the situation. So we'll do that award again as well. All right. Next thing I'd like to do to you is let you know that we always need volunteers. So if you have family coming to town with you that doesn't know what they're going to do for 6 to 8 hours or however long you're going to take on course, send them our way. We'll put them to work either on the mountain or in town. And we're also looking for year-round volunteers. So the Quad is a nonprofit organization run by a group of folks who are really dedicated but kind of wearing out. So if you have any kind of skill that you feel like you could bring to the board, we would love to have you on. And even if you're not local and would like to participate from afar, we typically have a remote option for our board meetings. We meet once a year, I wish, once a month, typically throughout the year, like midsummer on, and then we meet once a week from like New Year's to now. But we need help if you like accounting or internet things, social media, websites. Think about giving us a hand. All right, I let my notes close here. Oh, safety. All right, for a moment of seriousness, we expect it to be very cold and windy this weekend. I don't think it'll be snowing very much, so I don't think it'll be like whiteout blizzard conditions, which we've had before. But we want you to consider that it will be very cold while especially if you're on a team, while you wait for your team member. So, for example, if you are the segment 3 runner, the skier, you're going to have to wait 20 minutes to an hour, 25 minutes to an hour for your snowshoer to come back. It's pretty exposed at that transition and cold. So understand that you need to be prepared for that. You're going to be sweaty from running up there. What we like to tell people to do is send extra warm stuff up with your snowshoer, maybe like a down blanket, down pants, an extra puffy jacket, something that you can share to stay warm. We've got emergency provisions in place if we need like warming tents or to put people in snowcats, stuff like that, but that's really for the worst case scenario. So try to be self-reliant and prepared for really cold conditions. What I'm seeing on the forecast right now is that it will feel like less than 10 degrees at the high on Saturday, high up on the mountain. So it's real. It's real stuff up there. And I think a lot of times, so many of us can be complacent with Mount Taylor because we recreate so often up there. It feels easy, it feels fun, but things change in an instant at 11,000 feet. And we want you to prepare for that. We're doing the same on our end. We've got all of our provisions in place, but just want you to be aware. Additionally, take care of your hydration and nutrition. I know you know that, but it's hard to do when it's cold. On the cycling route, when you're riding your bike, we limit traffic, but we don't completely prevent traffic on the road that day because residents are still allowed to leave those subdivisions. So you do have the road for the most part, but listen behind you, pay attention, and yield to traffic. We do require you to wear a helmet, no exceptions, on your bike. And I think that's it for rules. Just keep it real for a minute. Yeah, I know, of course, be kind. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like, this race is, while it's competitive for some, for a lot of folks, it's just a bucket list thing. And people are out to prove something to themselves. And so remember that everyone's out there to achieve their own goals. I will talk briefly about the kids race. So if you are bringing, if you're from Grants, or if, oh, that's not it. If you're from Grants or you're bringing little ones to town, consider signing them up for the Kids Quad. It's adorable. It's a bike, run, and obstacle course event. We open it up to kids from 3 years old and up. The little ones can ride like Strider bikes or whatever, training wheels if they have them, and then it actually gets a little competitive by the time they're 11 or 12. Like our 11 or 12-year-olds kids age up to start winning the teams and pairs the next year. So yeah, pretty serious. But anyway, bring your kids out, sign them up the night before. Thanks to a generous donation from BHP, we are offering free registration to all kids, which I'm very happy about.
And registration is open for that online.
Online,
They're trying
yes.
to switch to an online platform now.
Yes,
So it is open now if you want to skip the whole.
that's true. You don't have to register night before. You can register online. Check out our Facebook for that link, or we can drop it in the chat if we need to. All right, we have talked at you long enough, so I'm going to bounce over to the chat and start answering questions. No need to bring your bike to... So the first question was from YouTube. Someone asked, do we need to bring our bike to gear check-in? The question is no. Do not bring your bike to gear check-in. Keep it with you at your hotel or whatever. Bring it only to the start line. One of our volunteers that's transcribing comments is an engineer and not very good at writing, so stand by.
Oh, so I think I got it. Yell at me if I'm wrong, Michael. So the items that you need for the downhill bike can go to the Run Ski transition bags for soloists, or
I
take
think,
it with your
yeah.
runner.
Okay, I'm just going to back that up a little bit because I think I understand the intent of the comment. Items only. Michael, can you please clarify what on earth you're talking about with this?
If they want stuff for just the downhill, it can go to their, they don't have to carry
The
it.
bike run.
They can go to the bike run.
You said run ski. Okay, we got it. It might be really cold for your bike down, like ski gloves cold sometimes. And so if you want extra gear for downhill cycling, put it in your bike run bag. If we didn't get that right, make another comment, but elaborate more. Okay, how often are shuttles running? Oh, that's a good question. Typically, we fill them up and send them on the road, so it's like every, 20 minutes, but numbers are down this year. It's just a fact of it being a rough snow year. And so we may only run 2 shuttles all morning. So don't count on being able to nail the shuttle timing. Just get on the first shuttle you see. Another question, to confirm. The skier and snowshoer groups their stuff together for equipment shuttle. Then at Run Ski, they split up equipment. Snowshoer carries their equipment up and kicks butt to the summit. Yeah, and thanks for the point of clarification, Ashley. So skier, if you're on a team, a 4-person team, skier, the now segment 3 runner, and snowshoer, bundle all your gear together. You don't have to be in one bag, but you're gonna tape it all in one big duct tape disaster. We'll send it all up together, And then once you arrive to the run ski transition, between your first part of running and your second part of running, you'll split it up. The snowshoer will then hike up, taking their snowshoe stuff and also stuff to keep the runner warm while they wait. So I think that's it. Ashley, if we need to elaborate, drop it back in the chat. All right.
Any rules or recommendations on getting shoes?
Oh,
Shoes
interesting.
up?
Okay, yeah. So a soloist is asking if we have any recommendations on how you get your snowshoes up to the snowshoe transition. Backpacks work really well. My opinion is that the less you have to fiddle with all of your stuff, the better off you are, because you're going to be really cold and tired, and you don't want to be fiddling with like strap. I've tried it both ways. Like big pack seems bulky and inefficient, but it's actually a lot faster to just pitch your snowshoes in a big backpack and move on, versus trying to like thread elaborate straps onto a tiny backpack. So I would not carry them in your hands, probably. When you're skiing, you really don't want to carry them in your hands, but even running, I would say pitch them in a backpack, carry them up, and then transition.
So with the cold conditions, if you are a soloist, do most people stay warm enough after the run on the ski snowshoe portion, or do most need more layers for those segments of the race?
If you're a soloist, do most people, yeah, you might need more layers.
Especially this weekend.
Yeah, it's different when it's a ski, because potentially you could be skiing down pretty fast and not exerting very much, so you get really cold on the downhill ski. But I would recommend layers in your backpack, because you might start the uphill snowshoe pretty warm, but when you get onto the face, if it's really 60-mile-an-hour wind, it will be really cold, and any sweat you have is just going to make you really cold. So layer up for the way down. The way down is colder than the way up is the answer. Okay. Someone asked, are snowshoes still at the ski snowshoe transition? Not sure what that question is getting after, but
We will, though, be taking them and putting them there.
no,
No?
not snowshoes. No, they're
Oh.
carrying
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. I'm
yeah.
thinking transporting them.
to run ski.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
soloists and team members will carry their own snowshoes from run ski to ski snowshoe. So when you're done with your first half of running, if you're a soloist, before you start running the second half, pick up your snowshoes. If you're on a team, you carry your own snowshoes up after you get out of the truck shuttle. Want to take that one?
Bikes don't need to be checked in.
Yeah.
Just bring it with you the morning of, and then photos will be provided by Lobo Photo New Mexico for all participants.
Yeah, shout out Lobo Photo New Mexico. Travis and Amanda started working with us for photography services like 2 years ago, and they do an awesome job and magically make their way up and down the whole mountain taking pictures. And we purchased that service from them and then give you the pictures for free. So we'll send out a link after the race, download, share. But yeah, those guys are great. Travis and Amanda, Lobo Photo New Mexico.
Should we bring cash for various fundraisers, or will they accept credit card? They are going to see if they can accept card. So if you have cash, probably wouldn't hurt. But once we find out on that, we can
Yeah, I'd say
put something.
plan on cash, and we'll try to get prepared for cards. The quad can't take, we don't have a means of swiping cards. So if we like have old shirts for sale and stuff like that, you'll need a card for that.
Cash.
Yep, cash, cash, that's what I meant, cash. It's a good thing for Danielle. She's really the one keeping this train on the tracks. Okay, next question is, are there aid station food options listed on the website page, or will this recording be available after for research? We don't list our aid station options on the website, but the recording will be available. But just to reiterate, in case you're listening, honey stinger gels, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, brownies, chips. Do we get chips? Chips
But I don't think it will be at every aid station, but there's chips.
at the main aid stations. Yeah.
Trail mix.
Mhm.
And gummy bears.
Did I say Tailwind? Yeah. Tailwind has been an
Tailwind.
awesome sponsor for us, so we appreciate them.
Nice.
Oh, gummy bears, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Oh, not apples.
Bananas and oranges. Bananas and oranges, yes, and a lot of water. So it's not quite like, if you guys run ultras, it's not quite like ultra level aid station spread, but it's not just like slamming some Gatorade at you and off you go. So somewhere in between, if you have something that you particularly enjoy, we do recommend you take that. Because it's so cold, even when it's not that cold of a year, hydration bladders freeze. So if you are planning to send like water bottles or bladders up the night before, as a little bit of a risky move, because they will probably freeze overnight. Even if you're running with a bladder that you started with, remember to either have an insulated hose or blow out the hose, because the bite valve will freeze. So just challenges with the cold. Okay. Link. Michael or Chad, our chat volunteers, can you grab a link to the kids quad? And okay, Chad's going to take care of you on chat. All right, just for clarification, are we only carrying snowshoes on the former ski segment and not the whole run? Correct. The question was, are you carrying snowshoes on the entire run, segment 2 and segment 3, or just on segment 3? And another way to say that is, are you carrying skis just on the old ski part?
No.
Gosh! Okay,
So,
say that all again. You do it.
so you only have to carry your snowshoes from the former ski segment to the snowshoe segment like you would normally.
Correct. It's just like it always was. So we're not going to make you carry your snowshoes when you get off the bike. You'll run without snowshoes, and then you'll run with snowshoes.
And then the potential precipitation on Friday night and Saturday morning. Is there a concern for ice on the road during the bike section?
There is concern. We have provisions in place. We're really well supported by the county and the state for the race. And so if it's snowing, we'll be on it. But it's happened before that like the road can be a little slick. So take it easy if it is. But from what we're seeing in the forecast, I don't think it's going to be enough snow to be a problem, but we're ready to handle that if it happens. Lasagna dinner times. I'll let Danielle look up the lasagna, or was it lasagna dinner? Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti dinner?
I believe 5:30 to 8. Yes, so 5:30 to 8 for the spaghetti dinner.
It's $10. $10, and it's a donation for the band. The kids are awesome too. Like they love it. We love to support them. So please consider going to the pre-race dinner. Okay, I think we're down to one question. Clarify that soloists will need to grab their snowshoes at the run ski transition. You said soloists will just run through. You're right, I did say that. Okay, so let me reiterate. When you get off your bike, you will start running without snowshoes. You'll run for 5 miles to the run ski transition. At that point, you will grab your pack with snowshoes and continue running to the ski snowshoe transition. From there, you'll put on your snowshoes and snowshoe to the top. And I think we've got one more coming in.
Is there a rule to wear snowshoes, or can we wear yak tracks and carry our snowshoes if snow is packed enough to stick with yak tracks to the top?
Okay. The question was, do you have to wear snowshoes on the snowshoe course? And the answer is yes. The rule is you must wear snowshoes on the snowshoe course. And from what we're hearing on reports from the mountain, it's like the snow is soft enough that you'll probably want them. It's that the weather has been so dry and cold that the snow gets faceted and it's like sand. It's like that grainy sand and you just kind of sink in. So, yep, wear your snowshoes on the snowshoe course. It's the rules. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in on the chat. But if you come up with something, you can email us or post to Facebook or post to Instagram. And I think that's all we have. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you Friday.
Bye.
Bye.